too much is not enough. To my ears, any too much is not enough is, in fact, more than enough. Hi again. Before I dig into things, I just want to thank you for all the great comments and feedback on the Ranking the Lineups video. I love the fact that we can share our opinions and agree to disagree. Without a doubt, Deep Purple Vibes subscribers are the biggest and best looking Deep Purple fans on YouTube. And with that, thanks again. I hope you enjoy this video. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. So, every great album has a weakest link, even the classics. This is my opinion. I'm not saying these are bad songs necessarily. I'm saying I think they're the weakest link on their respective albums. Sometimes it's about pacing, a song that kills momentum, for me. Sometimes it's a stylistic mismatch that just doesn't fit the album's vibe. And sometimes the songwriting just isn't as inspired as everything else around it. And sometimes a donkey is just a donkey. These are the tracks that, if you were making a best-of version of each album, would be the first removed. Or at least they'd be the first ones I would remove. And yeah, you're absolutely going to disagree with some of these. That's the point. Let me know your picks in the comments. The first album is Shades of Deep Purple. I don't know whether it's because I find this an inherently weaker song, or maybe it's just because it's placed between two killer cover songs, Help and Hey Joe. But Love Help Me is, to my ears, the weakest link on a pretty solid debut album. I just find it's a song that looks backward instead of towards the 70s. Next up is Book of Taliesin. Now, the Book of Taliesin is a fantastic listen. I've only recently gained a full appreciation for it as a result of recording my 3 Pints of Purple video. In any case, for me, the weakest link on this album is River Deep Mountain High. You can't out-rock Tina Turner, and I don't know why they even tried. This is a donkey. Deep Purple's self-titled third album is a proggy gem. The band were leaving their psychedelic experimentations behind, and there were only a few songs which retained musical DNA from their previous 2 albums. And of those, the most psychedelic song is Bird Has Flown. And being the most psychedelic, it's the most out of place on the album. That's why I have to go with it as the weakest link. Next up is Yes. I know it's technically Deep Purple and rock, but when we're talking about the band, it's redundant, so get over it. Anyway, In Rock is an exploratory explosion that pushes into heavy territory. Into the Fire is solid, but it's more kind of a straightforward heavy blues to me. It's doing a 1960s thing on an album that's inventing the 1970s. It's a great song, and I love it, but I just don't think it stacks up to the rest. Next up, Fireball. If you've seen the Fireball Reimagined video, you know which song I'm going to pick here. Anyone's Daughter is a bit of a country pastiche on an album doubling down on the band's exploration established in rock. It's a detour that breaks momentum completely. Fireball works when it's introducing new ideas, uh, and then it just stops for a sing-along. It's certainly not poorly executed. It just doesn't belong on this album. Machine Head is an album of titans. Relentless drive, sonic warfare, raw power. Maybe I'm a Leo is a perfectly fine mid-tempo rocker, but to me, it's the only track that doesn't feel essential to the album's mission. It's introspective and straightforward bluesy, while everything around it thumps and has some quirk. It's definitely not bad. In fact, when I'm in the mood, I really like it. But when I spin the album and I skip a track, this is the track I skip. Who do we think we are? This is a case of where an okay song suffers by being placed between 2 more memorable songs. Place in Line kind of retreads the blues boogie covered by Lazy in the form of something that sounds like a work in progress. Basically, when they were recording this album, the band weren't happy. Gillan had already told them he was leaving, and this song sounds like it. That said, what a fantastic performance from Gillan. Burn. First things first, I love the playing on this. Blackmore and Lord provide killer solos. Lord's piano work is the best part of the song for me. What's going on here is a barroom shuffle with goofy lyrics on an album that's an otherwise serious Mark III statement. I just find it especially so when it's sandwiched between You Fool No One and Mistreated. Stormbringer. Now, as I've said many times, my videos are an expression of my opinion, so I'm not trying to trigger anyone here. I'm not saying my opinion is any more valid than anyone else's. So for Stormbringer, I have to go with You Can't Do It Right. To my ears, this is a on to Come Taste the Band. Jeff Cook wrote the original lyrics to Lady Luck as a dark, gritty Tobacco Road narrative. I'll include a link to an interview with Cook, I'll link to the original lyrics, and I'll link to Bolin playing it, pre-Deep Purple I believe, in the description below. Anyway, without the substance of Cook's lyrics, I find this song just disappears like a fart in the wind. Okay, moving on to the reunion era on the Perfect Strangers album. Now this song has some pretty great lyrics, and Lord's Hammond sound is killer, but the rest of Under the Gun just doesn't grab me. The synth used for the Land of Hope and Glory bit in the middle section takes me out of the song, and without a middle section, there's not a whole lot to grab onto. It feels like a work in progress. The House of Blue Light. I have a complex relationship with the House of Blue Light. It's me, it's not the album. I feel it has an issue throughout, and it's that the verses feel like they were written more as platforms for guitar runs than melodic vehicles for the vocals. Hard Lovin' Woman is no different. This might be a favorite for some fans, but I've never been able to reconcile the riff, the piano, the synths, and man, those lyrics. Next up is Slaves and Masters. Now, while Slaves and Masters is not my favorite Purple album at all, there's only one song that I'll consistently skip. Too Much Is Not Enough. To my ears, any Too Much Is Not Enough is, in fact, more than enough. This is another donkey. The battle rages on. Okay, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this donkey. In fact, I can sum it up in 3 words. One man's meat. Perpendicular. Now this is a hard one. But this is an exercise, so I have to pick a song. The Aviator is not a bad song. It's very pretty, and I love the bagpipe effect that Morse plays at the end, as well as the pipe band march rhythm that Paice locks into. But this sounds more like a rock band trying to play folk rock than it does actual folk rock. It's another pastiche, like Anyone's Daughter on Fireball, albeit way better. Abandon is a very solid album. This might seem like a bit of a cop-out, but I'd have to go with Bloodsucker, with a U. It's a remake of Bloodsucker, 2 O's, from In Rock. I mean, since we already have an original and better version, this one's a no-brainer. Bananas. This is another one some fans quite enjoy. However, Razzle Dazzle is the one song I never play. Ever. Let's just leave it at, this donkey grates on my last nerve. Rapture of the Deep. I love Rapture of the Deep. I'll dig into it more when I do my next Essential videos, focusing on Mark 7. To me, Girls Like That is the weakest link. It's the one I never play. The lyrics and vibe just don't work for me. And here's the thing. For the excellent 20th anniversary remix, you can see my unboxing video of that if you want, the track list was changed around. Girls Like That went from track 2 to being buried on the proverbial second side. I'm a huge fan of all the Ezrin-produced albums, and now what was extra special, as it was the first new album from the band in 8 years. Anticipation was high and the band delivered. I love all the songs, but I can't get past the lyrics on Bodyline. It's a shame because the music is such a fantastic nod to Stevie Wonder. Okay, we're coming in on the last couple albums here. Infinite. As with Bodyline, On Top of the World is another song where I enjoy the music, but I just can't get past the lyrics. And maybe the spoken word piece in the middle section here. I skip this every single time. Whoosh. Just as with Bloodsucker on Abandon, I have to go with a remake of the song the band did originally. It's not that this is a bad version at all. It's just that since we already have the original version, if I have to pick a song to go, and the address would be it. Every song on Whoosh is great. And finally, Equals One. Equals One is such a great album. I enjoy it as much as any album the band has done post 1970s Mark II. But for me, the weakest link on this exceptional album is Now You're Talking. The playing is phenomenal. The killer solos from McBride and Airey they blow my mind every time. There's lots of energy. I guess the reasons I'd pick this as the weakest link are that I get hung up on the guitar riff that's used in the verse, and I just don't think it's a great key for Gillan. So there you have it. My donkey from every Deep Purple studio album, except not all of them are donkeys, but there's a good 3 or 4 donkeys in there. Now remember, weakest link doesn't mean a bad song. Most of these I actually enjoy. They're just the first ones I'd cut if I had to. I guarantee you've got a different list for your at least half of these albums. So let me know in the comments which songs you'd choose instead.